You got your toothbrush?
Check.
Do you have your deodorant?
Check.
Do you have your cozy clothes?
Got that.
What?
Do they know I'm black?
Should they?
You might wanna,
Mom and Dad, my black boyfriend will be coming up this weekend. I just don't want you to be shocked that he's a black man.
I ain't never seen you like this before, bruh. Meeting families, taking road trips. Don't come back all bougie, man. Come back, get your damn pants up to your damn stomach.
So you guys coming up from the city?
Yeah, we're just heading up for the weekend.
Can I see your license, please?
He wasn't driving.
I didn't ask who was driving. I asked to see his ID.
Call me Dean and you hug me, my man.
So how long has this been going on, this thing? We hired Georgina and Walter to help care for my parents. When they died, I couldn't bear to let them go.
Do you smoke in front of my daughter?
I'm gonna quit.
She'd take care of that for you.
How?
Hypnosis.
I'm good, actually.
You ready for this?
How bad can it be?
So look, I go do my research. Apparently, a whole bunch of brothers been missing in this suburb. But it's cool. Bro, how you not scared of this, man?
Good to see another brother around here. Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here. Get out. Sorry, man. Get out! Yo! Rose, we gotta go.
Is everything okay?
Rose, the keys. Just get the keys.
I don't know where they are.
Rose?
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Mom, it's a terrible thing to waste. Terrible thing to waste.
If there's too many white people, I get nervous.
No.
A mom is a terrible thing to waste.
No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Nom.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm gonna leave now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Told me to get out.
Did I? So you chose Gut Out. Let's talk about that.
Get out. Yes, I did choose Get Out.
Okay.
I haven't seen this movie before, and I feel as two minorities, we probably should have seen this movie.
To tell you the truth, I wasn't interested in it when I first saw it. When I saw it in the trailer, you were interested right off the bat because we saw it in theater. I was like, eh. Yeah. I was like, eh. I wasn't really feeling it. And then the whole world is telling me you are silly if you are going to pass on this movie.
You mean all the white people?
Yes.
Including the black and the Asians in the mix.
First it was the whites, then the blacks, and then everybody else. Good for you.
Yeah. No, I was interested in and I still am interested, obviously, because it was different. I think that's what made it unique to me. Like I'm always, you know me, I'm always one to see a movie or want to see a movie that is a little different, that they take a chance. And the fact that this was Jordan Peele's
for Key and Peele, for people that don't know. Fun fact, didn't know they were from Mad TV.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're from Mad TV.
No,
yep.
I'm glad that they've succeeded.
Yeah, they
Mad
were
TV.
the last cast before the kind of show disappeared. They were part of the last cast.
I was gonna say I'm glad that they've succeeded.
Yeah, I think that's how they got their duo
TV,
show. I think off of that.
Yeah, Mad TV was not really. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It had some
a good beginning, terrible middle, and I guess the ending got enough to get these two out of there.
Yes.
Yeah. Go on.
I remember Mad TV on the lowered expectations.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it was definitely something different. I think it it was trying something different. It was definitely going to be unique, especially in a world in like 2000, in the late 2000s, that you feel like you've just about seen everything. I feel that they took a chance, and a lot of people liked it. So
yeah,
it's definitely interesting.
It was definitely different too, because they did that movie with the cat Keanu. And so you thought maybe I guess you were thinking like anytime they're doing a movie together, comedy has to be in there somewhere. Yeah. And in some sort of way, a lot of people are coming off of this movie that it is creepy, but it's funny too at the same time. But funny in a way like this could happen funny, I guess.
Really? I hadn't heard anything about that.
Yeah, like this could it's one of those things why it could have been this is something that could have happened and no one would ever know about it. Like, it might have been told on a small paper or something like that, but no one will ever know about this story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like one of those hidden stories.
Yeah. Like you have to know it if you went to that state or that town. Like there was a gentleman that was here that one time and he never came back.
Oh man,
it's kind of one of those kind of feels.
Yeah, so thank God it wasn't directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh my God!
Because it'd be like The Village, where you find that the village is in the middle of like a big city park or something like that. Right. You're just kind of like, really, no one, not one person figured out that there was a little village just hidden there in a big park. Anyways, good thing it wasn't directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan, I mean.
But sorry. Overall, let's go ahead and go right into the trailer. So, the trailer was, even though I wasn't interested at the time, it did a wonderful job editing the uniqueness of the whole. The cuts was the savior of this trailer. Yes. The cuts were so well done, where it started going calm, then it started escalating and escalating and escalating, and you just saw so many. You just slowly saw everybody going crazy in this clip. You know what I mean?
And you don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, there is, you feel like in your heart of heart, your instincts, you feel there is a like theme that fits in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. And obviously it has to do with race. There's a race theme in there, but you're not sure what it is.
But you know that
you want to find out what it is.
But you know that in the trailer that guy is the one triggering it. Like if he never came there, it looks like everything would have been calm. Yeah. But the moment he came, a domino effect started. That's when everybody's just starting going crazy because he's doing something that's turning the norm around. And we don't know the whole story behind it, but that's where the little curiosity is, that real carrot hanging in front of you. Like I want to know what the heck is he doing to shifting this.
It feels kind of like a Stepford Wives kind of like feel to it. Where like everything is nice and Pleasantville. And then all of a sudden you start seeing like the one guy who has free will that everyone's like, you should leave.
Right.
You should get out.
Right.
You should go away. Save yourself or something like that. At least it feels that way. Yeah. Like it truly does feel that way. But something a little bit more lighthearted and just kind of randomly watching the trailer. So many skits can be made out of this. And I feel so sad that Dave Chappelle doesn't have a show right now.
Right.
Because I feel that Dave Chappelle would make fun of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Like in a heartbeat. Even though, granted, the part where the gentleman turns around, the skinny gentleman that has
he has a bit of a Chappelle look.
That has the Chappelle look. I bet you if they did the Chappelle show, he would just be that guy. And then he'd just be like, you should get on out. What are you doing staying here?
It'd be the blind guy. That would have been funny with the blind guy.
Yeah. The blind KKK guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Talk about politically incorrect, right?
Right.
The blind KKK guy. We should hang him. What?
But overall, though, I think they did a wonderful job of that. But now these are a couple of movies where you kind of, I don't want to say force, but you try to convince me to go, and sometimes my low expectation for this ends up being a big expectation. So hopefully Get Out will be that movie where I'm like, and then I come out like, wow, that was a really fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And you have done that to me a couple of times. Like, wow, that was actually a really good movie.
The one story that I remember that I made you do, I did that one particular thing to you, was Rambo.
Yes.
Was the greatest one of all, because we were back at my old apartment. We were watching. I was watching Rambo, because I think it was during the time where like villains were just kind of like the good guy villains.
Yeah,
like, they weren't really. You sympathized with them, so that was like during the time when like Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock was like, he was a bad villain all the way to the very end where he had to redeem himself, and then there was always some sort of.
I don't want to feel sorry for you. I want you to die, but I want you to die like a badass.
Yes, like I want you to do something evil and get it. And then of course they talked about Rambo, and Rambo was just like, oh yeah, this old dude who just kills a bunch of things. Either way, with that being said, about 30 minutes into the movie, Jeremy was just off on my computer, just playing around on my computer.
Yeah.
I made some popcorn, sitting there eating popcorn, watching the movie. And then all of a sudden, I hear Jeremy just kind of turn towards me and just come next to me, take my popcorn, put it in his lap, and starts eating the popcorn. And he's just munching on the popcorn while watching the movie. So,
dude, that movie went off on me. Oh
my
god!
So, it was
but it
funny,
had a
right?
reputation. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be silly. It's Rambo.
Yeah, it was gonna be silly. But then it's just whenever like the terrorists and stuff, I started murdering all the tree. The tree hugger, environmentalist, and all that stuff, and they just murdered them.
Is this Rambo? This ain't Rambo.
And then he just goes off on them.
Yes,
just goes off.
Oh, that finale was so good. But yes,
so being able to get you into movies, except for Resident Evil, hadn't been really able to get you to watch the last 2 Resident Evils, which we will watch. Maybe not here, but we will.
You sold
me
wings.
Watch. Huh?
Sold me wings.
Yes, we will do wings, and we will watch Resident Evil so we can get through the final chapter.
So I guess let's check out this movie.
Yeah, after the break.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to this episode as part of the In-Game Boss program, a network of gaming and other variety shows. And remember, you can find all these shows on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. All you have to do is just follow and subscribe and enjoy all our other variety shows, like the In-Game Boss podcast, When Jeremy Met Nom and Finally Do a Movie podcast, Bond Never Dies, and the Cabinet Sessions. So thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of the show. Hey, this is Jeremy Evans, the man behind the In-Game Boss program, a network of gaming and other variety shows. But did you know I do my own show? Yeah, it's the In-Game Boss podcast, a show where I challenge not only you, but myself on fun subjects in the gaming culture with fun guests. So come by and be challenged. And welcome back. I'm Jeremy Evans with Nam Tran.
The Dream City Drifter. Drift away.
Good shot out there.
By sinking.
So, what to say about this movie, Get Out? We just finished watching it, and Nam, this was your pick, so why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners your thoughts of it?
I think whatever everybody kind of has said about the movie was about right. I don't think it was overhyped. I didn't, you know how sometimes you go into a movie, you kind of get overhyped about how a movie is made and done. I think it was just as good as everyone said it was. And I think a part of it is because of the way they made you, like, the pace of the movie in itself was just kind of was the same all the way through for the most part. But I think they had, no matter what scenes there was that you saw, there was always something you had to question, and you always had to continually ask yourself, like, what's going on, or what's going to happen next, or is there any type of foreshadowing? Is there, and I think for me, I liked the movie because it kept me guessing, or it kept me kind of theorizing all the way throughout the movie, trying to figure out what's going on. Does this make sense? Why isn't anyone saying anything about this? I was like, why is everyone so weird? Why does everyone feel like they're from the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s? Just a lot of questions that kind of came to mind. And of course, I think it tied up really well at the end with it. So I think the pacing, story-wise, I think the story was great. Was not what I was expecting at the end. I thought the pacing-wise, it went really smooth. It was very kind of methodical. I think it was a word I would say, very methodical in the way they filmed it. And I kind of, it was definitely mind bender for me. But I can't say other than that, for just off the top of my head, I think it was a pretty solid, pretty good. I think it lived up to the hype to me. What about you?
I think it did a good job of making you think the movie's going this way, and then the twist in it was probably really good. It was really good, and probably better than a lot of people have been working on trying to put a twist in the movie.
Yeah.
Because you had your hunch, but your hunch was going in the opposite direction that this movie's hunch was going. You know what I mean? Where the twist was going, right? For the movie is about, a small town abducting black people in particular, and what we believe what they're being used for is not what they were using black people for.
It wasn't because initially when you watch the movie, you think of slavery, you think of them utilizing black people to be like their housekeepers or their slaves,
and that's the interesting part about it. It's going to be common sense in your head, like, okay, here it is.
Yeah, so it's straight out front. But like in the end, they twist it in the end to where it's they're utilizing their bodies there because they find that they are superior, like physically, and superior in every, like, in certain ways that they want to utilize their body to continue their life.
Yes,
kind of like a fountain of youth, kind of like Ra's al Ghul in a weird way, just not using the fountain of life, just transferring themselves into different bodies and auctioning their bodies. So I mean, it was definitely I didn't see that one coming. I mean, I thought they were just going to hypnotize him and just, he was another zombie in that world. Right. But yeah, man, as a black male for you, because I know you grew up in this world as a black male. Obviously.
Thank you. It's been pretty rough.
How do you feel, like, just in general, like as you?
Okay, so two parts, and I'll make them quick. Is one part, you can definitely come out of this movie with a hint of a bit of a racism kind of thing to me, only because that you might be thinking of, yes, we were the perfect specimen for the thing, so I can see where the white and black conflict has been going over the years of, like, black people have the things that we want that back, or we want to use them some way, right? So for that, that's one way of looking at it. I looked at it in a different way, as it was more to me of, why do we not see the signs when they're right there? You know what I mean? Like, as a black person, like, the symptoms is, small towns, no, you're not seeing anyone. You're like the only one in that town of your culture. Those are going to raise flags. Now, it could be and that's the thing though. Like, if him or anybody, really, I'll tell you the truth, like, any other minority people going to a place that there are not a lot of their kinds there, paranoia is going to come, no matter what the situation is. So you're going to question so many things in your head, and that's what he did. That's what I did. Because if I was in that situation, I'd be questioning, like, whoa, why am I the only one in this town? How come I only see a few? Even I saw one Asian person. What is going on here?
Yeah. This kind of, we can sit here and talk about race, the difference between races and the aspect of it, because I think you'd feel that as a black male. I don't necessarily feel that as an Asian male. When I go to different towns and there's very few people of my particular ethnicity and or other ethnicities, when I go out to, like, different towns, smaller towns that I know are predominantly white, I don't feel that way. I would feel that way if I were you, if they started acting like they did in the movie. Where they were very, like, they tried, like, you can tell that they tried too hard.
But I think the difference, but I think the difference is just the way we're so different. Like, for a black person, we are raised to be more careful around of white people. Yeah, your way is a little bit different. Yeah, that's the crazy part. So it's so crazy that you're looking at it so differently, and it's fascinating to my point, right?
That's the beautiful thing about it. Is the reason why I brought it up is because I can tell the difference between how you approach things and how I will approach things, because because of our different racial background.
Right.
But I still the same way as you though. I would if I met other people and they started acting like they were in the 1930s, 1940s or whatever, just randomly saying things that doesn't equal out to present day, I would sit there and question myself. But the thing, I don't feel not that I feel bad for Chris in the movie. I understand where Chris comes from because he is absolutely head over heels over Rose, right?
She did a fantastic job bringing him in.
Yeah, she's just a manipulative B word, bitch, whatever. Pardon my language, but that was kind of what I said probably about a quarter of a way through.
Yeah, and I was hoping you were wrong.
Yeah.
And not for the reasons like I was rooting for or wrong. I just hope it wasn't going to be that easy to figure out, okay, well, duh. But I wanted to be like, maybe she was hypnotized and she got caught in the act. That would have been more fascinating.
There was more of a twist.
Instead of like, okay, the whole family's in it. All right.
Yeah,
still not a disappointment, but it was more. I guess more towards me. It was a personal disappointment.
Yeah, personal disappointment to you because there was too many flags that said that she wasn't part of the entire deal. Because you were just in there thinking to yourself, "It's like
she was too cool."
Here's the thing.
Too calm for his situation.
Yeah, here's the thing. Yeah, exactly right. It's like I was like, so she is acting all like, what are you talking about? Da 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 da. My family and she seemed like the most normal out of the family, right? But then. When she started meeting, like she knew of some of these other black people within the community, and they all act like they're from like the 1940s, like so. If she just met somebody and he just started talking that, you should automatically, from somebody that came from a city, should automatically just be like, that's weird, that's weird, and she never really had an explanation to Chris. On why certain she could have been like, oh, they act like that just because it's the way that the community is how they how they're raised here, which you can buy into that, but she never really backed up. She's like, I just met him. Well, if you just met him, why didn't you find him kind of weird? Don't you think he's weird?
Well, shoot, the red flag was at the very beginning. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter what the situation is. If you're not telling your parents at least ahead of time that you're bringing a boyfriend over and they are not of the same race as you, that's a question thing. Like, to you maybe it's nothing, but to me it is.
No. That's without a doubt.
Yeah, that's right there.
But the fact that you never really talked about your boyfriend, like, or whoever to your parents, like. It's like, oh, you have a boyfriend. You know that your family would be like, so tell me about her.
Yes.
And it's hard. It's like, he's not Asian. He's Asian.
Right.
Or he's not black. He's not black.
Like you said before, like, I feel sorry for Chris that he got in a situation but I don't feel sorry because he could have avoided.
Yeah, he could have avoided it. But then again, I forgot whatever movie it was, but they were sitting there, white girls are kryptonite to them.
Yes.
What movie was that?
I forgot what it was, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where
white girls are black, or
maybe Undercover Brother or something. I don't know.
I like that was the first one that came to mind. Was Undercover
Brother. Yeah.
Was Undercover Brother. I don't know why, but that in some senses, definitely kind of true in this situation though. But as I said, I like the story. I like the pacing. The actors, especially the one that played Georgina.
Oh yes, Miss Betty Gabriel.
Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how she didn't win an Oscar to me in this movie. The reason why I say this is because just the scene alone where he was in there just when she was telling him why she unhooked his phone by accident because she was watching cleaning the drawer, and he mentioned, I kind of get nervous around a bunch of white people, and you could see in her face that there was like 6 or 7 different, or you can tell that she was torn between 2 different people, and you can just see it in the subtlety in her face. And the beautiful thing about it is like it was a close up of her face, so there was no one else to act, and just the way that she was creepy and able to be around, or just able to be herself and kind of creepy, throughout the movie. Makes it really interesting. I thought she did a really good job of it. The other thing is I have to rewatch this movie again, and I say this is because now that you know what the twist is, that Georgina was the grandmother. You sit there and you have to watch it and be like, so she's the grandmother, the other dude's the grandfather. You really need to watch it and then sit there and think to yourself, it's like, so that's how the grandmother and the grandfather is acting, like. their actual grandmother and grandfather. Like the scene where the grandfather was talking to Chris while he was chopping wood. You're just like, she's a great catch, isn't she?
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, that's so weird.
But what made it so interesting is that, and when you're trying to take over another person's body, you are split in between yourself and the person that used to own the body, and that's where we've seen it from.
Well, they said the other person was a passenger, right?
Exactly, and he slowly comes out by being triggered about something, right?
Well,
Hence,
with the Flash.
Well, that, and then also certain words, because I believe when Georgina went like into it, he was talking about like there's too many black people. I think that triggers something.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think certain words too is being triggered into that. You know. But I think that maybe it's for certain people, you know, maybe it's that. It just depends what it is. But overall, I think they did a fantastic job. Is this a one-time movie for me? For now, I'd probably say yes, to a point where maybe down the line I want to forget about it and come back like it's like a wonderful feeling again to that. But I thought it was real good. And to people that watched it, I don't think it was that movie that really disturbed people. I don't think that movie was disturbing as people put it. I thought it was cleverly creepy.
It was like an homage to like scary movies.
Yeah, like, it almost felt like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. It was like it has. I think Peele, who directed it, because he's a fanatic for horror movies.
Yeah,
and I think what he did was he took, and obviously he's hosting the new Twilight Zone. But I think he took a little bits of every kind of like horror movie, because you saw a little bit of The Shining in there.
Yes.
You saw a little bit of Twilight Zone, like, and you saw a little bit of more about like different horror movies that he kind of took the idea from and just did the scene. Because I think in the end, if you think about the movie, I think there was like maybe 3 different scenes, three total different areas.
But good for him for using hypnotists as a transition to get to the point of like the creepiness, because they could have just did straight up knock him out, took his brain out and everything, but they actually wanted to break that person down.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe because the transfusion wouldn't be like,
it would be clean.
To be clean and not so much. So it was an interesting,
like it would work. Like
yes. Yeah. And then let's not forget, when I was watching this movie with Nam, maybe towards the end, Nam's all his everything he wished on his list came true. He was just yelling stuff like, do this, and he did it, do this, and he did it, and he was in it more than I am. I was more shocked. I'm like, not shocked that you got your prediction right. I was more shocked of like, good for him. How far are you gonna go? That's where I was hyped. I was like, how far are you gonna go?
Yeah, exactly right.
I was rooting for you wherever you're gonna do. Like,
every time I was like, man, I wonder if I can think of anything really crazy to say, because I was like, because whenever he knocked out the brother, I was just like, grab that deer head and keep stabbing the dude. I don't think he's dead yet.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't grab the deer head and he didn't stab the brother, but he sure stabbed the dad. And I was like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But
I recommend people watching it.
Yeah, I definitely recommend
it. No matter what, at least one time. If you don't like it, it doesn't matter. At least one time.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any complaints about the movie?
Only that I wish that it wasn't too predictable on Rose's and Jeremy's characters.
Jeremy,
the brother.
Oh yeah, Jeremy.
The brother. I was hoping that it wasn't him at the very beginning that knocked him out. I wish it was like they were using... I wish it was the other characters that they took over for the black people to knock him out. I thought that'd be an awesome little fun thing to see that coming. And then Rose's, I wish that she was hypnotized the whole time.
You wanted her to be good, right?
Not good. I don't care if she is bad, but I wanted her to be, I guess, good. But I wanted her to be hypnotized to be a bad guy the whole time.
Yeah.
And then that point when she was gonna die, that would have been a part. She broke out. She's like, "What is going on? Why am I dying?" And that would have been an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So
that'd be unfortunate, right? That'd be unfortunate for Chris, because then he's choking out a girl, and she breaks out into actually her, and she's already got a bullet wound, so she's gone.
Right.
But it would have been interesting if she broke out, and then they kind of she was the one that they saved instead of Georgina getting hit by the car, and that he ended up saving her to try to release his own demons. I don't really have too much to say about what I disliked about the movie. I think I don't think it was. I think it was just as long as it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think the story was well taken care of. The actors were all fine. I think a lot of the people, or I think we would have acted pretty much in a lot of the same ways. I think the only other thing I would think is maybe if, like when Chris, like I think Chris was in so much denial, and I don't really understand why. Because once he went into the room and found she dated like 60 like different black guys, and that he wasn't the one.
I agree. I know where you're going with this. I agree. Because the fact that why do you look at these pictures and you're still walking down the stairs with her and got yourself trapped in that situation?
And you were asking for the keys from her, and like,
yeah,
I know that you can't run, but the likelihood that you're more...
He's a smart guy, and he was not making good decisions.
Yeah. Like, at that point in time, he should have realized she was a part of the entire ordeal.
Right.
And he realized that, but he just was in denial. Like, he should have taken her purse, dumped it out on the bed, grabbed the keys, and left. Or he should have just ran out the door and just ran.
Right.
Like, something. Like, he would have gotten caught, but they wouldn't have done anything to him. Like, they wouldn't have done anything damaging to him because they needed his body to be in good shape.
That seems more believable in that situation, because then you would have the grandfather chase after him because he's full strength and heavy, so he can track him down, and that would have been more entertaining.
Yeah, I think that would have been like a little chase scene. So, like whenever Chris finds out about the different boyfriends and stuff like that, I think at that point I'd be like, all right, so my girl's crazy. My girl part about this whole ordeal. I need to go. Yeah. All right, let's get to the categories.
Okay.
So, category number 1. How can you make it better? I think that kind of goes with what I just said.
Like I said, I wish that the surprises between Jeremy and Rose could have been a little bit better, and I think, honestly, his best friend, I wish he put a little bit more. I wish they put a little bit more into him investigating. Like he investigated, but I kind of wished. I don't know. I wish more from him. I guess that if I had to try and make it better, maybe add more to that character a little bit more. Because they only talked twice.
You wanted to see more of that character.
Yeah. Because not the fact that Chris could have like left an email for him to contact him. Hey, dude, something's going on. Also, I don't know. They could have been something there. That's the only thing I can really.
It's like here's the address. Here's the address.
Yeah. This. One of those, hey, if something happens to me, because you both were on the same page during the talk, like, dude, that was the guy that worked in the movie theater. You could have said, hey, dude, I'm going to text you my location. If you can't find me, here it is. Instead of him trying to Google and find out. Like Chris is smart. They just made him make dumb decisions.
Yeah, I think, the love goggles is there for however many reasons. For me, I think a chase scene, kind of like I was saying, as Chris starts running, they chase him, try to keep his body. Apologize. Try to keep his body intact and in good shape. I think that would be pretty solid there. So if we were in a scene, you and I, if we were in the background of the scene, what would we be? Yes, we didn't. What scene would it be?
I think we came to an agreement.
All right, okay, cool. So it's the scene whenever the guy. They snap a picture. He snaps a picture. This is
set at a dinner party that they do once a year at the house where Chris was staying at.
Yeah, so they do. Chris does a snap picture of the other guy that kind of looks like Dave Chappelle.
He does,
and he breaks out and he starts running towards Chris and he's yelling, "Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!" So we're just going to set you up with that scene. The next, Jeremy and I are going to be in the background, more likely probably next to the Asian dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other Asian guy. So there's me, the other Asian guy, and then there's Jeremy. So we both see this movie, and I'm just like, Jeremy, you need to get out.
Yeah.
Jeremy, go. You need to go. You see what's going on. You need to go.
Yes, and that's after Nam prance me around, telling everybody, hey, this is Jeremy.
Yeah.
This is Jeremy. Oh, I didn't know it was like that. Jeremy, you got to go.
Yeah. Exactly. Hey, this is my homie, Jeremy. They start asking you random questions. Says, yeah, he has his own podcast. He does. Yeah. He has his own little program or that has a bunch of different podcasts. You should listen to it sometimes. It's like, oh, he's a radio guy. Yeah.
So he's a smart guy.
He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. He's like, yeah, man, he's pretty funny too. He can dance. You want to see? Dance of it, dance.
Yeah, right. And then you be that guy who was like, okay, Jeremy, here, just go. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna play some bingo.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy, I need you to go find out what's going on with Rose and them, but we're gonna go play some bingo over here. And he was like, dude, I saw you guys playing a minute ago. I saw you guys playing bingo, but that's not how y'all play bingo. The dude kept pointing around and was just like putting fingers up like 2, and then you raced your car.
That was kind of a weird, exciting scene for me when I saw that.
The auction scene.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It was an interesting silent auction. I definitely like that. And if we were to write a sequel, what would it be?
My rendition of the sequel is Rose is not dead. She actually ends up taking over the household, and she would actually get the other black guy that was the sex that end up being, I think, is now we can figure it out, is the husband to the woman that was there.
Yeah. The Dave Chappelle looking guy?
Yeah. He would be involved to try to manipulate someone else coming back to. Now I don't know if Chris would be back involved again. Yeah. Because Chris would be aware of it now, but I think they would use Chris to get more people in, because Rose can't do anything really now. She's probably hurt, so I would get him to go befriend more black people, and maybe bring a bunch of black people, or some, like maybe a couple this time, maybe like 2, bring them in, and then he would probably portray as like the fake father, the new father, and that woman as wife, as pretending to be Rose's parents, and then they would trap them back in, and then they would try to attempt to do this again, and then maybe Chris and such and such would capture wind of it, and maybe they'll try to come back and get them if that's an option. But other than that, I think that'd be an interesting way to like reopen the story again. But this time they're trying to it's either go big or go home, because they got to make up for all the people that died.
Yeah.
So that's one idea I have.
Okay.
So.
Not bad. So here's my idea.
I know where it's going. All right, go.
No. Guess. Take a guess then.
Chris comes and kills everybody.
No, actually.
Okay, cool.
No.
That sounds like you too. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Chris just goes John Wick on everybody.
Okay.
He didn't. He went John Wick on everybody. All right. Yeah. So Chris is saved by Rod, right? So we know that Chris is saved by Rod, but he had been hypnotized and he's been under the spell. So somehow or another, whenever they hypnotized him under the spell, they did they did the whole conversation thing on the TV that he was captured in. So he kind of knows the secrets of whatever that's going on. Fast forward about, say, another 20 years. Let's fast forward about 30 years. Or even more, actually.
What do you mean, like have him have a family and some kids?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he has a family and some kids. And then he has a family and some kids. He becomes a grandfather and all that good stuff. He has a whole family underneath him. So what they do...
Are you going to reverse this?
You damn right.
You're reversing.
You damn right. So what he's going to do is he's going to get his son. His son is going to hook up with a bunch of white women and white males.
It's not like a spoof more than anything.
And they're going to
Dude, the Wayne brothers should do that. That's a Wayne brothers idea.
No, and then they're going to invade, and then they're going to become white people, because hey, there's prejudice and racism against black people, so why not be white?
Right. No, that's a great Wayne brothers one. Like,
I think so.
Like Keanu Wayne, Sean Wayne, all of them. Yeah. Bringing some white chick there, and it's all like spoofs of everything.
Oh God, yeah, I think
that'd be hilarious. So it'd be have Dave Chappelle actually run towards
exactly. It'd be Get Out too,
right?
Except for the beautiful thing is like whenever the white people actually started acting kind of weird in like the 1980s, it's like, oh, he's old fashioned.
That'd be kind of. I can see like the party they have is a block party.
Yeah.
Just to get the white girl just have a good time and then get her drunk, and then like, all right, we're gonna do stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, so it's gonna be reversed. So Chris is and his kids, or his kids are gonna be all grown up, married, and then they're going to kidnap and eventually turn
that works too.
Kidnap white.
Yeah, that works too. Okay.
I think it would be interesting. Okay. I think that would be kind of fun.
Okay.
All right, man. So Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh wait, we got one more, buddy.
Oh, we got one more?
Yeah, we got.
That was it.
Was that the last one?
How can we make it better?
I'm just making sure. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, how can we make it better?
Yeah, right. The sequel's last. Sorry.
Yeah. You're good.
Okay, go on.
So anyways, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a critical score of 98 and gave it an audience score of 86, which is probably the highest I think we've on both sides that we've actually
highest together. Yes.
Yeah, that we've actually had to deal with.
Yes.
For me, I will go 98. I'll go with the critics this one.
I'm gonna go with 86.
Yeah, I figured this much.
Wow.
I figured
Okay.
Well, 98 is like almost near perfect, right? So you have to be absolutely perfect to
yeah.
It's hard.
And it's tough too because I gave Night Shift the 92.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
To me, I gave it the other.
Okay.
I think the reason why I'm going to go with the 98 is because I told you before, like I really didn't find anything bad with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I had to find bad was something that I would just be like, why didn't you just run? But then again, I can understand he could still be in shock and denial about the fact that his girl was in on it the whole time.
Because he was still questioning himself a lot in that movie. Like, he didn't know he was hypnotized. He wasn't hypnotized. He didn't know.
Yeah, he was being manipulated the entire time. So I can't really problem with that. I just know hopefully in my position, if I were in that situation, I'd sit there and be like, dude, you have pictures with a bunch of different Asian dudes besides me. No other white girl date a bunch of different Asian dudes. But
right.
Yeah. But anyway, but I'd sit there and I'd question it. So I want to lean towards 98 because I think it's definitely one of those movies that I would end up watching again just because I need to. You get to watch it with a different set of eyes now. Mm-hmm. And maybe you can catch little nuances throughout the movie that you didn't catch the fird time around. You always end up doing. So why 86?
You know what? I'll give it a 98.
You give it a 98?
I'll give it a 98. Tell you the truth, I would actually bring it down to like a 90. I wouldn't bring it a 98. I bring it it to a 90.
I
that's the only reason why 86, like 90 to me is the good middle ground because like 86, it seems like it's better than 86, but it's not a 98 to me either. So
I lean more towards the 98.
I'm going to go with the critics, but I am going to bring mine down to a 90 only because I was still disappointed in the characters Rose and Jeremy. They could have been better to me, but also too, the fact that Chris was still a character that I understand he was still kind of confused what's going on, but still at the same time there was a bunch of signs in front of him and he should have.
Yeah, the red flag.
Yes, and here's the thing: if he knew this and still wanted to go in head on, hoping that maybe he could rescue Rose, I go at 98 with you. But the fact that he knew and still got fooled by it.
Yeah, he was really just hoping that she wasn't part of it.
That's the part that disappointed me.
Yeah, it is disappointing. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And for someone, I say for someone who's been in a couple of relationships, who's quote unquote been in love, I know how everyone sees the red flags. Obviously there's a reason why I'm single and not with anyone at the moment. But you see the red flags there and you ignore it. You ignore it and you hold into like there's a change that you hold into. Yeah.
Hope is a strong weapon.
But in the situation that he was in, it was a little extreme. So I think I might have acted differently. But I definitely can sympathize with that.
Yeah.
So I can sympathize with that. Yeah. Where can everyone find us?
Well, you could definitely find us as first of all, our show is part of the In-Game Boss program, a network of gaming and other variety shows. But remember, you can always find our shows that you can listen to on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean, of course. Just make sure you follow and subscribe. Leave a 5-star rating. Tell us we're doing good or bad. Let us know if you like Get Out. Was Get Out too much for you? Was Get Out too less for you? Would you go that far for a white woman? I don't know. You tell me. I was just kidding.
She was cute, though.
She was cute.
She looked evil as crap when she turned, but she was cute.
Dude, good job for making her look creepy halfway in that movie. Like,
when she talked to Rod, she was like, "I know, Rod, you wanna fuck me."
Right. I was like, whoa.
It's like, "You crazy bitch."
Right. But we would love to hear your thoughts. So definitely reach us on our Facebook page and our Twitter page by typing in the In-Game Boss program. We will have the trailer up, and we get a chance. We'll definitely have questions up there. How far would you go? I mean, where would you jump off in this movie? Basically, not like quick watching it, but where would you like, I'm out? Where would be that I'm out moment? Like, I'm getting out of here now. So you let me know in the comments below and whatnot. But other than that, Nam, where can they find you personally at?
They can find me on Instagram, the Twitter, and as well as Twitch at the KN Trend. And trying to kind of continue on what Jeremy had to say. by all means, please give us feedback. If you don't like our show, please download. You don't have to listen.
Right.
Just download. But I look forward to everybody's feedback too as well. We have categories that we draw out. If you guys are interested in throwing different categories that you might want us to talk about, can be as silly as, we would read is like, how would this movie be with Tom Cruise, or something like that. Feel free to just add it into our list, or send it to Jeremy on the email, or send it to me in a message, and we're more than happy to put it in.
And you can find me as Retro Amp on Twitter. And that's Retro 07, Retro Amp 07. But be sure to check our other shows like the In Game Boss podcast. That's personally my show where I'm hosting great topics with fun guests, my minions. But we have other great shows that are also coming to the network soon this month and next month. So be prepared for that. So following and subscribe will help you keep you up to date on everything. And we will definitely see you in the next one.
Yes, we will see you. Hey, Jeremy.
What?
Guess what?
What?
So they were playing bingo over there, but it was a weird kind of bingo. I don't really get it. The dude was putting numbers in his hands, and people would just put cards up in the air. It's like, I really don't understand why that's the case, but I really think you should leave because it was a picture of you, and they were throwing numbers.
How did they get that picture? How did they get that picture?
I don't know, but you need to get out.